And the authors, they just keep on a-coming. Over 150 on site. Among that 150, Dr. Bruce Kessler, who wears many hats. I guess you need a bigger head, huh?
Many would say it's big enough already.
Well, he is the head of the WKU Department of Math, and he's taken to writing a series of comic books. Tell us a little bit about the genesis of this series.
The idea kind of came from a meeting I went to that was not an exciting meeting, but they had a cartoonist taking minutes of the meeting on pieces of paper. He was actually drawing live minutes, and it was fascinating to watch. And when it was over, I went to look at these things and take pictures of them and realized, wow, this looks like a way more interesting meeting than I remember it being. And he had captured all the salient points and made those points expertly. And I thought, and I teach math, so I thought, wow, if I could do something like that with mathematics, that would be something that would be useful. And so we started looking into the idea. I figured it had been done, but when I started looking into it, it really hadn't been done very much. There was somebody had something called Plus Man, did a couple issues. It was more for an older crowd though, and I thought, no, I want to get to kids. I want to get to, because we lose students in math and other STEM areas about middle school. I guess it's hormones kicking in or whatever it is, but they get kind of peer pressured not to be smart in subjects like that. And so my idea was to get them so interested and so proud of themselves for being good at math that they would be strong enough to not cave into that peer pressure and continue to be good at it. So that was my idea, and it's been a lot of fun.
Engaging, so
Yes.
you're finding something, the hook. So you got to have a character, you got to have a main character, right? A main character draw. I bet that was fun.
Our main guy actually is this big, super strong dude, but he turns out not to be the hero in the story. The hero in the story are these two youngsters that are beside him here. They're the smart characters here. He's not a dumb guy, but he just never cared about it. And they're very intelligent and very willing to share what they know with him, and so they end up being the heroes in all the stories.
Now you've targeted a specific demographic to kind
Yes.
of reach them about the importance of math. But what are you finding along the way? That there maybe are others who like to read it, not necessarily in that demographic?
Well, I would hope that anybody, adult, anybody, would enjoy the stories. There's a lot of kind of, in the same way that Disney, Pixar, hide little funny things in the story for adults. You'll find little adult reference, not like adult, but like things that only adults would understand. References like that in the stories. So I think the stories are hopefully entertaining for anybody who reads them. Certainly, we've had younger students than fourth grade enjoy them if they're ahead of the game and wanting to play up a little bit. I know that they've enjoyed the stories, and I know we've had cases where folks that were a little behind the game and needed encouragement have used those comics to kind of get their kids back into
the take us through one of the stories, like give us a sense of how math plays into those stories.
The last story involves Wonder Guy trying to help out these folks in their warehouse. They've got a pallet of material that's blocking their driveway, and they can't move it. And they ask him just to help out. Well, he does, and he picks it up, and actually one of the characters ends up on top of the pallet for a photo op. And once he gets it up there, they say, oh, now you can't let it down. We've got it rigged to explode. We're going to go rob the bank. And so he's stuck. And they realize that in a town with Wonder Guy, you probably don't have a SWAT team and you don't have these things.
No, you have Wonder Guy.
And he's stuck. He's got this thing above his head. So they figure out, they use a thing called Gauss's trick to figure out that they've got enough boxes on the pallet to build a stairway up to a landing where he can get down and get everybody kind of fixed. They find a way to lay it down and things like that. But it was a good, I don't want the math to be a forced thing. It needs to be a necessary thing in the stories. I don't want people reading and say, well, yeah, but you could have just, picked it up, broke it in half, whatever it is. They say, oh, wow, if they didn't know that math, it wouldn't have been solved. And so this was, and Gauss's trick is a nice little trick for adding up consecutive numbers from one to whatever. And it'd be a good little trick actually for elementary students to know to impress their teacher with. The whole thing with Gauss's trick, Gauss used this, the story is that Gauss as a youngster was given busy work by his teacher go add the numbers 1 to 100.
Probably just to get him
Just
out
to
of the
get
way,
him out of there,
huh?
right? Just
Huh?
like let everybody else do their work. And he came back like 2 minutes later, says it's 5,050. And she's like, there's no way you could do that fast. He's like, oh yeah, sure. And he explains how to do it. And it's like, oh, okay. So he was kind of a deep thinker even as a youngster. And it's actually a very simple trick that even third graders, fourth
I
graders
have a
could
big
do.
question for you. Can anyone learn math, or do you need to just be born with that talent?
Anybody can learn it. The only issue is how fast. Anyone can learn math. Some people can learn it faster than others. And certainly the people who tend to self-navigate towards math, in many cases, are those who pick it up very quickly. But anybody's capable of it. There are some learning disabilities that hinder that, obviously, but anybody can do this. It's just a question of how fast they can do it. And really, and that's a little bit driven by how interested they are in learning it.
In wanting to do that. And what's next for our superhero math guy?
He's taking a hiatus while I breathe. I had to illustrate the last one,
Oh,
which was, for me, an ordeal. That's not one of the things I'm very good at, and so I worked very hard at it. So I'm going to breathe for about a week, and then I'll start thinking about, okay, what are some other situations where math would become a necessary thing at a level that's understandable to our kind of target audience.
broadening your horizons.
Yeah, and then
Indeed.
I'll get to writing, and there's a chance too. I talked to a young lady here who did her own textbook on illustrating, which was fantastic.
There you
and
go.
so I'm thinking. I talked to her parents today. I was like, I may need an illustrator here in the future. So it'd
Can
be
you
great
say
to,
collaboration?
Oh, I'm telling you, she
Collaboration.
was great.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great. Always great to talk to you.
Thank you. You're watching Outside the Book from the 2015 Southern Kentucky Book Fest. Dr. Bruce Kessler has joined us.